folks. I hope y'all are doing well on this rainy week. I just wanted to go ahead and make a little video for you guys, kind of helping you start to think through thesis statements, structure, and organization for your arguments, for your argumentative essays, as you kind of get into getting a feel for the direction you want your argument to go. So, quick little vocab review. I know y'all have all heard of thesis statements, but just some definitions I find is helpful for me. So, a thesis statement is one or two sentences that articulates the main idea of your paper, making a claim and directly answering the question, what is this paper about and why does it matter? I.e. your research question. Research question is at the beginning of the research process. You start out with a question or a series of questions about the topic you're working on. Broadly, what is the topic or argument? What are the sides? Who are the stakeholders? And what is their evidence? Why does it matter? And of course, stakeholders are an organization, a person, or a group of people who stands to gain or profit from support of their perspective, even if it's only in terms of status or achieving success in the debate. And then claim is going to be an arguable statement to be supported with evidence throughout the paper. So your thesis should be making an argumentative claim. And don't worry for all of this about taking notes or anything. All of this, my notes are, as always, going to be on Moodle with videos, so don't panic about that. So, the purpose of the research argument essay is, as you might expect, to use research to argue a particular position about a controversial topic, issue, or subject. So, thesis statements for this essay should present a distillation of your argument, clearly and specifically outlining the argument you're going to make, as well as why that matters. So a thesis statement will present a claim, which again is an arguable statement, and will introduce the evidence that'll be used to support that claim throughout the paper. So a thesis should stand on its own, it should be a complete sentence. It should stand on its own kind of as an exclamation of your claim, and it'll serve as a roadmap both to keep you on track while you write the rest of your paper and to guide your readers as they are trying to follow your argument, right? So I find it helpful to think of a thesis as the TLDR of my paper, the one sentence, two sentence summary. If I'm explaining what I'm writing about to my mother, for example, she'd be able to get it if I read her the thesis statement. Draft thesis statement model. This is going to be on Moodle, but just so you have it, kind of thinking whatever your topic is a controversial issue, and in this paper I'll be arguing whatever your claim is, especially considering the evidence you're presenting in each paragraph kind of listed off. This matters to stakeholders because stakes. That probably makes more sense written out. But again, notes are on Moodle. A lot of this information is also in the PowerPoint that I put on Moodle for this week. So your thesis doesn't have to look like this, either in the draft stage or in your final paper. However, following this kind of model will help you have all of the components that I'm looking for in a thesis statement. So, in general, when you're organizing an essay, you can think about academic paper structure as following this general pattern of, in the introduction, tell your readers what you're going to tell them, in the body of the paper, tell them, and in the conclusion, tell them what you just told them. So, think about in your introduction, it's going to be 4 to 6 sentences, usually just one paragraph, offering background, introducing the topic, context, and then presenting your thesis with an analytical claim, this is the issue, this is the argument, why should we care, why does it matter, what is your stance, and then what evidence are you going to use to demonstrate that stance. So it should reflect kind of the larger structure of the paper. Then you're going to have the body of your paper. Generally, in a paper of this length, it's going to be at least 5 paragraphs, 4, 5, 6, somewhere around there. Each paragraph should begin with a transitional word or phrase and a topic sentence, which is like a mini thesis statement for that paragraph. What exactly will you be talking about in that paragraph, and how does it tie back to the argumentative claim you're making in the thesis statement? Sometimes topic statements can also be at the end of a body paragraph, but usually you're going to want them at the beginning. And please note, it's unnecessary to introduce the topic of the next paragraph at the end of the previous one. I see that sometimes. Instead, use transitions at the beginnings of body paragraphs, not at the ends. Just is cleaner that way. So the body of your essay could be broken up for this argument in a few different ways, and it just kind of depends on what you want to do and how the argument kind of breaks down, like what works best. It'll vary from topic to topic, but you could highlight like the benefits each stakeholder has, like break it down by stakeholders. You could break it down into different parts of the argument or points of contention or subclaims. You could talk about each source or type of source in like a separate paragraph and sort them by quality of sources or by the age of the sources or something like that. You could present evidence or support chronologically. You could organize things by age group or geography or demographic. It kind of, again, depends on what the subject is, right? So, additionally, please note that in the body of your essay, you're not required to have like a specific paragraph addressing the opposition like you do in a lot of high school essays. Your purpose is to use quality evidence to make an argument in this assignment. You can address the opposition in a specific paragraph or throughout the paper, or, like kind of less directly, not really directly address them that much at all, as long as you're supporting your claims with evidence and it makes sense, Like if there's a big glaring hole where it feels like you are ignoring the opposition, that will be different than addressing him in specific paragraphs. But we can kind of work through that on a case-by-case basis as we need to. So, the conclusion for your essay is going to be a fairly short paragraph. This isn't a big, long, book where you need to remind your reader of everything that you said and the points that you made. So wrap it up pretty quick, Try to restate your thesis in slightly different words. Obviously, don't just copy and paste it. Emphasizing your argumentative claim and the evidence you've presented in support of it. And then again in your conclusion, reiterate why your perspective that you've presented on this argument matters. And that can be done by saying what might happen if action isn't taken. You can give a call to action for your audience. You can present the consequences. You could present the potential benefits of whatever you're arguing for. Really try to make that argument as a part of your structure. And kind of by having a well organized and thought out paper, you are sort of helping make your argument stronger just by making your own credibility seem more legitimate, if that makes sense. So just be thinking this next week or so about how you might want to organize your paper, start thinking about thesis statements, that kind of stuff. And as always, shoot me an email if you have any questions. Take care.